Hey there, welcome back to Tennille Talks. Y'all, before the month of September came, I switched out my card decks. None of the decks that I'm using this month are new to me, but they are new to the channel. I included an empathy deck, a love deck, and empathy, love, and sensuality. So I wanted to be intentional about the type of cards that I was using because honestly, these are the messages that I would prefer to see more of. Today's reading, has sensuality cards and love cards. All right, so I wanted to let you know that. I'm going to jump into the reading. The reading begins and it talks about a friendship. This is a Six of Cups type of connection. When the Six of Cups comes out, we're talking about something from your past. This could be a reunion. This could be somebody literally going back in their own memories. Maybe they're thinking about childhood. Maybe someone from the past is literally visiting or returning. But when the Six of Cups reveals itself, it means the past is important. Now, the other card I have says friendship. If I combine them, I'm saying, okay, a past friendship is important. So I'm talking to you, but I am telling you about a friend or a connection that you had with someone from your past. You are being told this because you are on their mind and this is what you need to know. That is how I'm understanding this message. My first handmade card says my shadow is loud. So when I'm talking about a person or a friend that you were connected to from the past, it may have happened when your shadow energy was at its loudest. If you were not in shadow energy, than this person was. When I'm speaking of your shadow being loud, you know those scenes or cartoons and movies, you have a devil on one shoulder and an angel on the other. When your shadow is loud, it means like the devil got your attention. Whatever shoulder that the devil's sitting is on, that's the voice that's coming through the loudest and strongest. That is the energy that is dominating your conscious mind. And so when somebody was being dominated by devil energy, they had a friendship, possibly with you. This may now be in the past. The next card I get says the world stops when I'm in your arms. Y'all, but we're talking about a friendship. Okay. Now, the energy of this friendship says that this is the type of relationship where if you were to continue to nurture the bonds of the friendship within this relationship that you have with this person, it can dramatically improve your love life, but also it'll trickle down to all of your relationships. You know how there are some relationships that are so toxic that they make all the other relationships around them really sick. The relationship that's in front of me, even if it happened during somebody's shadow era or devil energy, the potential of this connection can bring wellness to the two people who have this friendship, but it also can impact all the other relationships that these two people are connected to. Somebody is saying the world stops when I'm in your arms. Physically, does this mean that you had to have an intimate experience? Does this mean that you actually had to be in their arms? No. When I'm reading this is somebody saying, when you're hugging somebody, your attention is isolated and focused on them. You can only hug. You can do a group hug, but let's just think of a hug as a single embrace. Somebody is essentially saying, when I am in your eyes, when I am in your ears, when I am in your embrace, like when you give me your consciousness, when you give me all of your focus, all of your attention, intention, and awareness, my entire world feels better. Not that it has to be a hug, but something about you being in somebody's life makes them feel hugged. It makes them feel like I can go through anything. So when you are with somebody, you bring them immense joy. But this may be a person from your past. It didn't grow beyond a friendship. Like it didn't get any legs. You couldn't go anywhere with the connection, but it still had meaning. Somebody is sitting and thinking about you. And when they're thinking about you, they're recognizing that there is no challenge in life that they cannot approach or get beyond. when you're by their side, meaning if you are on their left or on their right, you are the fresh perspective. You are the innovative solution that can get them through any challenge. Somebody is just like, damn, life is better with you. My world is better. Everything is better when you're touching me. And if it's not physical, it's emotional, it's auditory, it's verbal. It's because you're talking to them. You're listening to them. Somebody wants your attention. Any problem they thought they had, it is not as big as a problem as you not being in their world. Nothing about the noise in their world can drown out the absence of you not being present in their world. If somebody got their wish based on this reading, and we haven't really even gotten into it, if somebody got their wish, the only thing they are wishing for is to be held by you. But the card says friendship. This is something from the past. And so this is somebody sitting in their own heart, sitting in their own mind, and you are the dominant thought and emotion. But their shadow is loud. They're still in shadow energy. They have not yet turned over and started talking to the angel on the other shoulder. They're still in shadow energy, but you are dominating their consciousness. All right, let me step into the reading. The reading begins and it says, she was an open book. He was illiterate. So when you met this person, they couldn't read whatever it was you were writing. So you show up in honesty, truth, purity, integrity. This person has no idea about what they are looking at when they look at your character, when they watch your personality, when they watch how you treat people, how you speak. They don't know what they are seeing. They are illiterate. Now, I don't mean illiterate to be rude, but I think it's really about the shadow. The next card I have is the devil. Imagine trying to read a book when the lights are off. That's why this person was illiterate. Not because they can't read, but because the lights are off. If I'm in shadow energy, if my subconscious mind is running the show like an unruly child, I don't even have time to sit still to fucking sound out whatever it is you're trying to show me about who you are. You know what I'm saying? And so this is somebody who was already tied to the devil and couldn't really give you the attention that reflected your worth and your value. So you may have been an open book, showed up pure and true, and it didn't even, this person was never going to be able to read. They were never going to be able to read you on that day, at that time, in that year. They couldn't. The lights were out. My heart or my love card says time. You're trying too hard. Give it time. Now listen, I got to take this message a few ways. Either you're showing up trying to have somebody who can't read you, and inside of you, you're like, you know what? Let me just take time. Maybe I'm doing too much. Maybe I'm trying too hard. Maybe I'm giving it time. So you could have recognized that this person is illiterate and you need to pull back because you can't listen. Have you ever tried to teach a child to read? It takes time. Okay, this could have been a conversation that you had with yourself once you assessed this person, or this person who was illiterate, who recognized that they couldn't read you. They could have said to themselves that you or they are trying too hard. I need to take. So this is like somebody not being able to read you, but like being like, in a couple months, I'll be able to read you. Let's just give it time. You don't got to try too hard, because even if you try, I'm still not going to be able to read you. So let's give it time. Either you recognized this is going to take time, they recognized it was going to take time, or you just both did. But I honestly think this is a heart thing. Whether you consciously knew this would take time, this is your heart and their heart, recognizing that there are certain situations that you just can't push beyond. Growth is growth. And you're not going to be able to read a 10-letter word if you can't read a 2-letter word. So you have to grow into it. So time was apparent to either one or both of you. And it was really about the devil being present. As long as the devil's here, this motherfucker is going to be illiterate. Because when the devil is here, that means that somebody's lights are out. Somebody's not conscious. Somebody's not aware. Somebody's walking around in their own subconscious. And when they're walking around in the darkness, that is the version of them that is running their conscious mind. So if the devil is here, somebody is always not going to be able to read, and it will always take time. The card says, you are my every waking thought. Now, see, this is where we get the playing around type of energy. So at the same time that somebody can't read because they're tied to the devil, listen, the devil means I'm illiterate because I'm restricted. I'm illiterate because I'm already in an obligation. I'm illiterate because I'm morally obligated elsewhere. I'm illiterate because I'm dependent on sex. I'm dependent on drugs. I'm addicted to this job. I'm illiterate because I've got control issues. Right? There are many reasons why the lights are off. Somebody's illiterate. And the devil is here. The devil talks about fear, but all of the devil's energy is opposite of love. So when people need time, it's because there's no room for love. You ever try to park a car and the whole damn parking lot is full? That's what it's like trying to put love in a relationship where there's just not space yet. The devil's here. But at the same time, y'all, at the same time that you were an open book and this person was illiterate, the card literally says you're my every waking thought. So this is how I'm seeing this. Imagine that in this person's mind, they have about 10 parking spaces, meaning they can only think about 10 things at a time. You are the 11th car that pulls into the parking spot. Every one of those 10 spaces is filled by devil energy. I'm thinking about money in space 1. I'm thinking about lust. I'm thinking about big titties, fat asses, and big dicks in space 3. I'm thinking about them drugs. Think about 10 spaces and everybody's thinking about devil energy. But then you pull into the parking lot. It's like you literally trying to find a space in this person's life. You're driving around this person's parking lot and there's nowhere to park because they don't got space for you. But at the same time that you were driving around, and when I say driving around, I mean like you were present in this person's life, but they don't give you any room to land. They don't give you any room to settle. So you're driving around, and that could have been why it was only a friendship. Because you couldn't park. They had no openings. And listen, when the devil pulls out of a space, do you really want to park after it? You know what I'm saying? Do you really want to be the next car that pulls out of the empty space that a devil just left out of? You know what I'm saying? So you're driving around this parking lot, but because you're in this person's life and you still don't have a place to land, the card says, you are my every waking thought. Can you imagine that? You're driving, trying to park. And inside of this person's mind, what that feels like is you are the one thought they can't put down. You are the one thought that they have at the start of their day and at the end of their day. You are the constant hum in the back of their mind. The card says you are the whisper behind every moment of every day. This is some poetic shit. And so you being in this life, this person's life, is like low-key torture, whether they are communicating that to you or not. And they're illiterate because they have no openings. They got to get rid of other stuff in order to be able to read you. But they can't read you. And you want to know why they can't read you when the lights are out? Because your energy is divine. Y'all, in the center of the reading, on one of my handmade cards, I have 3 giant letters written in uppercase. TMH. The Most High, in the center of the fucking reading. We started the reading with the devil, but then we move into the energy of the Most High. And so you are this person's every waking thought, but they are still in devil energy. They are still illiterate, and time has to do what time does. It just got to take time. And you never know when somebody or something is ready, but you are the obsession. This person feels like they cannot think about anybody else except for you. But remember, they can't even read you. Why am I thinking about something that I can't understand? Right? They're in their own darkness, and you keep just driving around their mind again and again and again. I have a card here. It talks about being able to trace something. Discover abundance by tracing patterns of purpose in your life. When you drove into this person's parking lot that only had 10 spaces and every space was occupied, you represent the moment where this person was going to be able to find purpose in their life. You are going to reveal that to them. This is why you are packaged divinely as an open book. You don't hide anything, because the shit that's on your pages, these are things that people need. Right? So when you enter this person's life, they have no parking lots open, no parking spaces open. They got a devil car pulled in. That's a devil thought, a devil habit, a devil mindset, or a devil behavior parked into every one of their conscious spaces. Nowhere to put you. But you show up as a divine assignment, because this person cannot figure out why none of their parking spaces are bringing them abundance. I got a whole parking lot with cars parked in it, and I'm not making any money. What's going on inside of these cars? Why am I not getting paid for this? You enter the chat. You enter their life. You are going to reveal to them the patterns in their own life that are stopping them from their purpose, but it's also stopping them from abundance. Means you got to have an abundant thought. Parked in your heart, parked in your soul, parked in your mind, parked in your body, if you want to generate abundance. But if you keep parking habits and addictions, you are going to continue to see lack, right? So this is why you're sent. So here comes the Most High in the center of the reading. The love card that comes out says romance. Cupid arrow strikes. Y'all, I feel like there was somebody in shadow energy, somebody who was illiterate, who you knew was a work in process. Maybe they had devil energy, but at the same time, they couldn't put you down. Energetically, they couldn't put your energy down, even if they didn't know where to put you, even if they didn't know how to hold you. It's like they couldn't release you. But then in the center of the reading, we have the Most High, and it says romance, Cupid's arrow strikes. So the connection that started off in the bad foot, in the center of the reading, it's almost like the Most High has sanctioned for love to enter. Remember how we talked about somebody having no parking spots? But here you are trying to park in somebody else's life, but they can't even read or understand that you are going to need one of these spots that they have occupied. Like they can't understand what they have to do to accommodate you. Y'all, but in the center of the reading, the Most High allows Cupid's arrow to strike, meaning now we got love. Y'all, now somebody got a nerve to think they're in love with you. Right? And so this is how I started to understand this reading. You got somebody who's in shadow energy, and they've created every devil that they have ever faced because they refuse to put down all the devils that they have carried. Right? We pick up devils in experiences. We pick up devils in moments, and they teach us something. And we're supposed to keep the lesson and put the habit or the behavior or the person or whatever was attached to that devil that made its way in. That's what you put down. But the lesson that you learned, you got to keep that. And so this person has not been able to learn anything about themselves or their life. And so the Most High sends you in, and it seems like this person treated you like you were nothing. And it was really because they couldn't read, not because there was anything wrong with you. They just had the lights off. But then somebody gets shot with the love arrow. Somebody got some romantic feelings. So somebody looks over you, but then recognizes, oh my God, I love you. Y'all, this is escalating. I don't think this is happening in you. I think that we are realizing what is happening inside of another, okay? And so in the center of this connection, y'all, nothing about this story is abusive or neglectful or disrespectful. I'm not condoning any of those fuck situations that we have been in. That is not this. The biggest opposition in this reading for these two people is time. And the only reason why time was needed is because she was an open book and he was illiterate, meaning that is it. There's no wife, there's no baby. You know what I mean? Like it's like, oh, we can't be together because of no. The only reason why this didn't work was time, not because people, not because of money, not because of anything else except for the divine, meaning the Most High had to have their hands in this from start to finish. Okay, so when Cupid strikes the arrow, we go from devil energy to the 10 of coins, meaning this person was illiterate because your divine energy could not be read. As long as they are bound to the devil, they're not going to be able to read the God on you or the God in you. But the Most High wanted it that way. It was timed that way. For the Most High to come out in the center of the reading with a card that says romance, Cupid arrow strikes, meaning this was always going to be a connection where love was going to enter the chat, but it needed time. So after the devil energy, then we have the 10 of coins. First of all, the 10 of coins is the card that everybody would love to see. This is like the golden ticket. The 10 of coins talks about the fact that, listen, there's wealth, happiness, consolidation, there's family, there's marriage, there's love, there's commitment, there's relationships and investments. All of those things can grow. All of those things can mature and be fertile and bring you abundance. This person was drunk on the devil, but then getting shot by Cupid's arrow. And now all they do is think about having the 10 of coins, but it's with you. So what I'm understanding is that the Most High needed time to work on this person. And when romance was allowed, when Cupid's arrow struck, meaning maybe the Most High had to pierce something inside of this person. Something gets pierced. One of those 10 parking spots that had devil energy, one of those cars, those thoughts, those habits or behaviors, one of those things moves outside of that person. And it seems like the reason why you needed time is because the Most High had to first fill that spot. If you got the devil in the space, the Most High is not going to put you in that space right after the devil. Like the Most High's got to clean it and repair it and get it ready for you. That's how I'm seeing this reading happening. And so you were in someone's life, but it just wasn't time to park. You were going to have to drive around that parking lot probably a lot longer than you wanted to. And it was because one car had to leave. When I'm talking about a car, I'm talking about a habit, a behavior, or a way of being. This person had to stop doing something first. And then the Most High had to shoot him with the arrow of romance, the arrow of love. And then they had to look at you again. And now they're not as illiterate as they were before. And so now you're looking like the 10 of coins. Before, let me tell you this also. Whatever it is you represented, you could have been looking like a ball and chain, meaning everything about you, it could have looked like, you know, love, marriage, family, relationship, home. To a lot of people, that is the devil. That is being bound. That is being restricted. and being imprisoned. To a lot of people, that is the devil's work. Because the last time I was in a home living with somebody, when I was married, when I had kids, the last time I did all of that shit, it felt like prison. And so maybe that is why this person approached you in that way, because of their past experience. So one of those parking spaces frees up, and the Most High works on it, allows romance to enter. And now we've got God in the middle of this thing. And so now we get the 10 of coins. I'm dreaming of you. When this person dreams of you, they are looking at you like the 10 of coins. You are everything, but they can have everything with you, next to you, in front of you, behind you, on top of you, under you. Literally, it is you. This card says, even in sleep, you're on their mind. They see you in their dreams, or vice versa. You could be communicating simultaneously with them in your dreams. But this is saying, listen, whether I'm asleep or whether I'm awake, I'm craving you. I'm craving the love, meaning like when this person thinks of love, you are love. You are walking, breathing love. And that is what they want, but it is you. So you may at some point have gotten messages, or sometimes if you're thinking about people, or you're like, why am I thinking about this? Because they're thinking about you, because they're dreaming about you. This person is now recognizing that life without you is a setback, and you are the fuel. You are the gas they need to get through every situation. They're stronger with you. They're wiser with you, and they can transform through and beyond everything. You are their fuel. Without you, they feel like they ain't got no gas on the tank. I can't drive nowhere. I can't go nowhere. Y'all, can you imagine? But that is a new thought. That is a new behavior. All of that is new to this person. In order to park those thoughts and those feelings about you in a space, the Most High had to allow it, but it just took time. Y'all, I'm about to say something I hate saying. The final card, I don't know if I said this, but the love deck that I'm using, the entire deck is shaped like hearts. Okay, like the cards themselves, they're like paper hearts with messages and an image on the back. The final card that I'm going to get to says twin flames. Y'all, the only reason why I don't like saying twin flames is because it is a box, and everybody doesn't perceive the box the same way. And the box itself just triggers me, because everybody uses it, and so sometimes I think it loses its value, it loses its worth. And so when I say it, I feel like I'm just kicking it around and beating it up, and I don't want to take away the power of what a twin flame connection or relationship and dynamic is. And y'all, that's what I'm seeing here. We have give it time. It's romance. Finally, twin flames, your passion ignites. The way this reading, my handmade card says to lead an orchestra, you have to turn your back on the crowd. When you two people cross paths with each other, y'all, I could be talking about a twin flame. I could be talking about a friendship that was a twin flame, but just maybe it didn't. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about in your life. But the card says twin flame. Something about this path where you two met one another, it was supposed to ignite something in you, but also ignite a passion in them. You may have had to turn your back on this person, which means, remember when God said, give it time? You're an open book, they're illiterate, and then the Most High enters in the center of the reading. I almost feel like two things happen at the same time. They had to get the devil out, but also whoever you are that is driving around this person's parking lot, not because you want to be, but like you who has no space in this person's life, there is something that you had to do. So if this person does not have any availability in their life because of all the shadow, the darkness, and the devil energy, what are you supposed to be doing with the same time that it takes them to get ready for you? What are you supposed to be doing? So something about this connection also has an assignment for you. If I can't park but I know that this is where I'm supposed to park. There must be something that I'm supposed to be working on. And so when I read the card that says to lead an orchestra, you have to turn your back on the crowd. This person was illiterate. They had to turn the lights on to read, but you had to learn how to turn your back on everything in order to lead. So there is something that you were supposed to lead, something that you were supposed to do. And as long as this person was not able to read you, that was an indication that that was honestly okay, because there is something that you must be doing. Y'all, at the end of the reading, I got the Queen of Coins. When this person looks at you, they see you as the Queen of Coins. Y'all, this is like the King or the Queen of Coins. This is CEO. This is Sugar Mama. This is Daddy. These are people, and it's not about age, but it's about people who are very refined in how they use their earth energy. But y'all know you can't manipulate the energy of earth if you have not first mastered your mind, your emotions, ether. Like, you need all of the elements to be in line. When this person is looking at you, they are looking at you as a Queen of Coins. So when you were driving around the parking lot with no place to park, you were developing into the Queen of Coins. This is a leader. And whoever you turned your back on in your own life is who you had to turn your back on in order to become the Queen of Coins. The Queen of Coins is generous, highly intelligent. This is somebody who works, but like they enjoy work. If you got to put your hands in clay, if you put your hands in soil or in raw food or in paint, whatever you put your hands in, even if you are left dirty and stinky, you love it. That's the energy of the King and the Queen of Coins. Like, I do what I love and I love what I do. Okay. So what I'm saying is, earth, materials respond to you. Your hands are blessed. These are people with like a Midas touch. But the magic in your hands is reflected back in how the earth responds to you. This is why y'all master the pentacles. You master money, or you're known for your wealth and your beauty and your luxury. But it's more about how you manipulate the energy of earth that even affords you that. This is the part of you that you had to master. If you couldn't park in this person's parking lot, if you couldn't park in this person's life, the reason why you even had to show up, because the Most High wanted you to learn how to turn your back on people. You may have had to turn your back on this person. And when you did, you grew into the Queen of Coins. And so you're on this person's mind. And when they think about you, y'all, this gets a little hot. It says, dominate me. When this person thinks about you, they want to be dominated by you. You may have had to turn your back on them in order to lead your life. Whatever you are leading, whatever you are in control of, even if it's just you, it is sexy and it is powerful. So this card says you're very powerful, and someone finds you irresistible. They want nothing more than to submit to you. The last part is a little sexual, but it talks about this person wanting you to be firm in how you touch them. They are wanting. So remember, somebody couldn't even read you before. Now they don't want to put the fucking book down. Now they then rip the book jacket. They got your pages all bent. You know how you can tell but you know how somebody says, oh, I read this book, but if it has no creases, if it don't look broken in or touched. That's how it was when this person was illiterate. You were like the book they never wanted to pick up and read. And now, if you were to be that same book, you would be as raggedy as you possibly can be, because they won't stop touching you. Right? But I'm really talking about touching you emotionally, mentally, like inside of them. They were illiterate. Y'all, now they know all about you, to the point that they want to submit to you. So whatever they couldn't see before, they can see now. But also, you may not have been demonstrating or displaying this version of you that you are now. You may not have been showing this shit before. So they had to get their parking spaces empty. But you also had to recognize that I can't park my car in every space. So I will drive around. I will turn my back. I will do whatever I have to do in order to lead my life accordingly, according to the Queen of Coins, the Queen of Pentacles. This is the king or the queen. But something about the way you run your earth, like the way you show up physically in your life is looking powerful. I have a card that says harness your imagination to create a vivid and fulfilling reality. That is what you have done, but this person has watched you do it. So they turned you away, not even recognizing who you were. The Most High said, shoot that motherfucker with a love arrow. Now they're in love and they can't put you down. But you have turned your back on them in order to become whatever it is you've become. So y'all, all I'm saying is this is a friendship. And it may not have always been friendly, but you may not have been able to give it any other title than that. But this had to be a connection between two people. And if the Most High comes out in the center, this was like a divine connection that had purpose, even if the purpose wasn't what we thought it was going to be at the very beginning. It served its purpose. Like you two people, whether you're together or not, whether this is what doesn't matter. Y'all wrote a script before you got here. And you came here and you played the role. This person was supposed to be an illiterate devil. And you were supposed to be a queen of coins that just didn't know it was safe to turn their back on the crowd in order to lead. And that is the purpose that you two found in yourself, but it was only because you crossed paths with one another. But y'all, you're on this person's mind. They only want to be held by your energy and no one else's. They want to submit to you. You are looking and feeling very powerful in how you show up in your life. And whether this person is awake or asleep, you are dominating their thoughts. And that is the Most High's will. Oh, I get it now. Okay. So whatever you are doing inside of this person's body or mind, that you are the fuel that they needed in order to be stronger and wiser in their own life so that they can get out of the shadow. Like they need to turn the lights on. And so the Most High sent you into their life to show them how to find the switch. And maybe when you first met, you thought y'all were supposed to live in that room together. But no, you were only there to show them how to find the switch. And then maybe you peace out. Maybe you don't. I don't know how it ends. But I'm telling you, there is a purposeful connection. One of these cards says twin flames. Something about you two meeting was supposed to ignite something in the both of you. Whatever happens after that, I don't know. But the purpose of the meeting, y'all did it. Whatever the script was, you played your part, and so did they. And wherever they are right now, all they're thinking about is you. And so this is like somebody finally waking up to like the role that they played, you played, the purpose. It's like y'all, you could have known this from the beginning. And I only feel like we're having this reading is because somebody else now knows it. And maybe it's just important for you to know that too. Okay. All right, y'all. I love you so much. I'll talk to you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.